Hello and welcome to the JIS Orientation for Parents and Guardians for the school year of 2018 to 2019. This presentation will provide you with important information regarding policies and how to help your child have a successful school year. The first section is contact numbers. To reach the school, first dial 012-6065-700 and use the following extensions to reach the desired department. If you need to reach the reception for the boys section, you would then dial 108. And if you need to reach the reception for the girls section, you would dial 202. To reach the finance department, you would dial 107. And the admissions department for boys section, 106. And for the girls section, 201. To reach the English section KG coordinator, you would dial 215. The English section elementary coordinator for the boys section, 110. And the girls section, 210. For the English section middle school coordinator, the boys section, 120. And the girls section, 209. For the English section high school coordinator, the boys section is 130, and the girls section is 211. To reach the French section KG coordinator, for the girls section, 225. For the French section elementary coordinator in the boys section, 119. And the girls section, 227. For the French section middle school coordinator, the boys section is 119. And the girls section, 227. French section high school coordinator for the boys, 119. And the girls, 227. If you need to reach the school clinic, the boys section is 115, and the girls section is 205. If you need to speak with a guidance counselor for the boys section, it is 123, and the girls section is 229. Parents should utilize these numbers to make appointments with principals, coordinators, teachers, etc. These numbers are also a reference for if or when you need to reach your child at school, ask a question, or have any concerns. School hours. KG section, the first lesson begins at 8 a.m. and their dismissal time is at 12:30 p.m. For grades 1 to 3, the first lesson begins promptly at 8 a.m. and their dismissal time is 1:30 p.m. And for grades 4 to 12, their first lesson begins at 8 a.m. and their dismissal time is 2:15 p.m. Student reporting time is 7:30 a.m. and the first lesson begins promptly at 8 a.m. Please ensure that your child gets a good night's rest, eats breakfast, and has all of their books and materials needed to be successful at school. You can ensure that there will be no delays in the morning by laying out your child's uniform and their bag with any books and/or materials the night before. Cell phone policy. Cell phones are a distraction to the learning environment at JIS. In order to maintain a positive and distraction-free learning environment, cell phones are not allowed in any classroom. Please note that all cell phones must be left at home, and any cell phone that's found in a student's hand or pocket will be confiscated or taken away. In any emergency, a student may request to use the office phone, and a parent wishing to reach a son or daughter may call the administration office, and the student will be notified as soon as possible. For grades 1 through 5, on the first offense, the phone will be confiscated or taken and held in the office. The student can then pick the phone up from the office at the end of the day, and the parents will be notified. On the second offense, the phone, including the SIM card, will be kept in the office for a period of 1 week before being returned to the student's parents. So the phone will not be returned to the student, and the parent will have to come to the school to pick the phone up. On the third offense, more punitive measures shall be implemented as determined by the school administration. For grades 6 through 12, on the first offense, the cell phone and the SIM card shall be confiscated and held in the office, and it will be returned after 1 week from the time that it was confiscated from the student. On the second offense, the cell phone and SIM card will be held in the office for 2 weeks. The cell phone will then only be returned to the parents. So again, the phone will not be returned to the student, and it will only be returned to a parent. The third offense will result in the confiscation of the cell phone and the SIM card for the remainder of the school year and possible suspension. It's important to understand why we have this rule at school. The policy was put into place to safeguard each child here at school. Cell phones could be lost, they can be stolen or misplaced, or could be used in an unacceptable manner. To avoid any unnecessary distractions to each child's learning, no cell phones are allowed at school. To avoid a cell phone being confiscated, just make sure to check each morning that they do not have it on them. This can also easily be done by designating a specific spot in your house for your child to leave their cell phone every morning. They can also leave their cell phone with their driver before entering school. Please support us and reinforce these rules at home and speak to your child regularly regarding this policy. Progress tests and exams. Progress tests take place at the end of each quarter. Students will take one progress test per day during first period, so punctuality and attendance is critical. Content coverage will be published on the school website 1 week before progress tests begin. Students should use the week before to begin preparing for these tests. During the week of progress tests, there will be no homework assigned. Exams take place twice a year for grades 6 through 12. Content coverage is published on the school website 2 weeks before exams begin. Students should prepare themselves during these 2 weeks. Your role as a parent during progress test week and exams is to ensure that your child goes to bed early, has breakfast before coming to school, and has all of their required materials needed for the day. Since there is no homework assigned during this week, please be sure to set aside quiet time for him or her to study for their upcoming tests. Preparing and studying in advance, and not just the night before, gives students the opportunity to speak with teachers regarding any content that may require further clarification. Attendance. Student attendance is very crucial to your child's learning and growth. Each absence is equivalent to 6 hours of lessons missed. So, for example, if your child misses 3 days of school, then technically they have really missed 18 hours of lessons. It's important to note that those hours will not be repeated. Students who have several absences often fall behind in their classes, and it becomes the responsibility of the parent and the child to make up the missed content. As a parent, providing a consistent routine for your child or children during the school year is critical. It reinforces that you believe school is important and that education is valued. The first lesson commences with assembly at 8 a.m. sharp. Homeroom teachers will take attendance during assembly and will turn it in to their coordinator by 8:15. All students following any absence should be given an absence slip by the section coordinator for each of his or her teachers to sign. The purpose of this is to advise teachers whether the absence is excused or unexcused. And it's important to note that unaccountable absences, which means that neither a telephone call nor a note was received, are considered unexcused, and marks, grades, tests will be counted as zeros. A logbook shall be kept in each class, and each subject teacher shall take attendance and keep record of it in the logbook. Absence affects a student's credits negatively and can lead to a student not being promoted. Tardiness. For grade 1 through 5 students, they will receive a late attendance slip from the section administrative assistant and be registered as latecomers. This late attendance slip is to be kept in the attendance register. Grade 1 through 5 students will make up missed work during break times. So, for example, if your child comes late to school and misses first and second period, your child will make up any classwork that they missed during first or second period during their break time. For grades 6 through 12 students, on the first occurrence, the student will be verbally warned and a notification will be sent to parents via school SMS. On a repeated occurrence, the student will be assigned the same day detention and a notification will be sent to parents via SMS. Tardiness also affects a student's credits negatively and can lead to a student not being promoted. Uniform policy. Uniform dress is required of all students. The uniform dress code requires students to come to school appropriately dressed for participation in the educational process. Any student not in compliance with the dress code will not be allowed to attend class until he or she is properly dressed. In order to minimize loss of instructional time, the following consequences will apply. For the first offense, the student shall be issued the appropriate new set of uniform and parents will be charged. For the second offense, the student shall be sent home. Basically, the uniform policy for JIS is no uniform equals no school. A regular school day dress code. Both girls and boys must wear the required long navy blue pants purchased from JIS. No other pants will be acceptable. Both girls and boys have to wear the yellow polo shirt if they are in KG through grade 5, the beige shirt for grades 6 through 8, and the light blue shirts for grades 9 through 12 with the school logo purchased from JIS. Blouses, pullover sweaters, casual or dress shirts may not be worn over the JIS polo shirts or in place of them. In cold weather, students may wear JIS jackets, which may be purchased from the JIS store. And any t-shirt that's worn under the uniform must be white. For girls, dress code must be followed even when wearing their abaya. Please note that girls are not allowed to wear their abayas during school hours. Middle and high school girls are, however, required to wear an abaya and cover their hair when they leave the school building at dismissal time as per ministry regulations. So this means that when you are dropping off your daughter to school, she must exit the car in an abaya and have her hair covered, and as soon as she enters the building, she can remove the abaya and her scarf if she wishes. And the same applies when she's leaving. She must put the abaya back on and cover her hair. Footwear. Only black shoes with non-marking soles are permitted. Any footwear worn by students must cover the toes. Students are not allowed to wear rubber sandals, flip-flops. They are not allowed to go barefoot or wear Crocs. Hats are not to be worn from the time a student arrives on campus or until they leave campus. Headscarves. Girls may choose to wear headscarves for religious reasons. Headscarves must be white, gray, navy blue, or black. Again, all middle and high school girls must wear headscarves when they leave the school building following dismissal of the school day per ministry regulations. Hair. Boys are expected to keep their hair short and neatly trimmed. Hair that covers part of the ears or forehead is unacceptable, and the student should be notified and made to trim it within 2 days of notification. Girls are expected to keep their hair tied back. Loose hair is unacceptable. Regarding the student ID, all students are required to wear their student ID at all times. This JIS student is worn when the student takes the bus only in the morning. If you look here on the badge where it is circled in red, if your child is riding the bus only in the morning, there will be a blue track here. If your student only takes the bus in the afternoon, you will find the yellow road or yellow track icon here. And if your child will take the bus in both the morning and the afternoon, you will find both the blue and the yellow road. And this JIS student ID is worn by the student inside the school campus. To ensure that your child is dressed properly each day, you can print a copy of your child's weekly schedule to know when he or she needs to wear their PE uniform versus their regular uniform. It's also helpful to lay out their uniform each night or at the beginning of the week, as to avoid any confusion or delays in the mornings. Make sure that your child's uniform is clean and that their hair has been brushed and pulled back if needed. Homework. A reasonable amount of homework will be assigned to reinforce and support the material covered in class. It will also reinforce good study habits and encourage independent work. Homework for each day can be found in the weekly plan on the school website. Homework is not optional, as the teacher will check the following day for completion. If any changes on homework initially assigned are done, they should be recorded in the logbook, and the homeroom teacher is expected to update the class log page on the system by 2:30 p.m. A message in Class Dojo may also be sent. Homework is worth 10% of each student's grade. Homework is a vital part of your child's education. It's how both teachers and parents can check for the child's understanding of the content being taught. It's important that you allow your child to spend some time on their own trying and/or completing their homework assignments. Once they have finished or answered a few of the questions, take this as an opportunity to check for understanding. It should also be noted that tutors should not complete homework with or for the child. This loses the value and the meaning behind the homework being assigned, and the child gains nothing from this practice. Class Dojo and Agenda. Class Dojo is an online communication tool used between parents and staff. Class Dojo can be used to ask questions, share information regarding school events, share pictures of student learning, and give any updates regarding classwork, homework, or quizzes and tests. At the beginning of the year, students will be sent home with an access code for parents to connect to their class on Class Dojo. You can access the website through your computer, or you can download the app for a tablet or mobile device. This is the easiest way for you to connect with any of your child's teachers and not just their homeroom teacher. All of their subject and specialist teachers will have access so that you can send and receive messages to them as well. Class Dojo is an instant means of communication, and this is also one method of classroom management used here at JIS. Students are able to earn points for specific positive behaviors shown. For example, if a student is working hard and staying on task while others are not, their teacher may give him or her 1 point. When students choose not to follow directions or rules of the teacher or classroom, they may have points taken away. For example, if a student did not bring the required books or materials to class, he or she will lose 2 points. When your child earns or loses points, you are immediately notified through the Class Dojo app or website. It also informs you what your child earned or lost points for. The success of Class Dojo relies on the support from parents as well. Please check frequently for any messages, class updates, pictures, and/or your child's progress regarding academics or behavior. Students are also given an agenda in their stationery packet. Homeroom teachers and subject teachers can use this to inform parents of any issues regarding behavior, missing assignments, etc. Parents can also use this for any questions they may need clarified or any issues that may arise. The agenda requires parents to check their child's bag each night for any messages from teachers from that day. Once you have read the message, please make sure that you sign so that you have read and received it. There is a space for you to communicate back to the teacher if needed. They too shall sign to confirm that they have read and received the message. The weekly plan. The weekly plan can be found online by accessing the JIS website. The weekly plan is broken down per grade level. It provides information for each subject regarding any quizzes or tests, homework, classwork, and the content that's being covered for the week. The weekly plan was devised to provide a guideline of the content being taught daily. However, it is important to note that this plan is flexible due to unforeseen circumstances. Examples might be a fire drill, an event at school, or early dismissal. During those times, certain material or content may not have been taught. In this case, a teacher may need the following day or week to cover that missed material, so flexibility is needed. There also may be instances where the majority of the class did not understand the material being covered on a particular day. So the teacher may see that it's necessary to repeat the material on the following day to ensure each student has a full understanding. Teachers will update parents of these changes through Canvas, Class Dojo, or their agenda. Weekly plans are made in advance, so you should check them frequently for any changes made throughout the year. Medicine. If a student needs medication, Consultation with the student's physician should be made about taking the medication before and/or after school hours, as no child will be allowed to take any medication in school without administrative approval. The following procedure must be observed. First, a request in writing by the parent or guardian of the student that the school nurse administer the medication. Second, a written order from the doctor stating the diagnosis, name of the medication, the dosage, and frequency of dosage. And third, the medication must be kept in the school clinic in the original pharmacy container. At the beginning of the year, a medical form is sent home. If your child has a medical condition, such as diabetes or epilepsy, it is important that you fill this form out and return it to school as soon as possible. You should also inform your child's homeroom teacher of any medicine so that they may follow up with that student to ensure that it has been taken. Thank you for listening to the 2018-2019 Orientation for Parents. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to your child's teacher, your child's coordinator, or your child's principal, and they will be happy to answer any questions you may have.